So make yourself comfortable, whatever that is for you. I've just changed my position from kneeling to seated so that I can focus a little bit more on the central part of the torso, the central part of the body, all the way from, we target into the solar plexus, around this area just above the navel, and also the heart space, just into the rib cage. So really it's more of a torso and an upper body practice today, as we still work through the chakras. We've not definitely forgotten the work that we've done in our Muladhara and our sacral chakras when we, did all that grounding work, that balancing work, and that ability to, find creativity and fluidity through our practice. But this is where we come in to the, as we're rising through the chakras, they bring their own governance as well. So taking the hands down onto one on the belly and one maybe just on the heart space. I like the left hand onto the belly, right hand onto the heart, but it doesn't matter. You can do whichever. All right. Allow the shoulders to just relax and let the elbows soften down by the side of your body, and just find the connection of your palms onto the heart and the solar plexus. So allow yourself time to become present, letting go of your day, slowing down the pace of your mind. Letting go of any distractive thoughts that take you away from being in the present moment. And the breath, or pranayama, is one way to really anchor ourselves into the present. If we just focus on the breath, then really we don't allow anything else to pop into the mind and take our thoughts. So just being mindful and aware and observing your own breath. We don't have to judge our breathing. We do it every single day. Just observe the inhale. There might be a momentary pause at the top of the breath. And observe the exhale, what happens to the mind and body as you breathe out. And that moment of emptiness at the base of that breath out. And just really feeling the heart space rising. When you breathe in, the lungs fill to capacity, and also the rise and the inflation of the belly into the palms. Breathing through the entire torso. And feel this energetic connection within yourself here. The solar plexus, the manipura, the sea of our energy, the core center, as it were, and the heart space, where the physical meets the energetic, the physical of the heart and the energetic of anahata. And each, I said just a moment ago, each have their own governance. The solar plexus brings courage, confidence, and finding that belief in yourself. And the heart covers your love, kindness, and compassion, and acceptance. So our theme and intention for practice today is acceptance of where you are at the moment in your life, right in this moment, but also where you are off of the mat. And also where you are heading. And finding the courage, finding the confidence to believe in yourself and your capabilities. And all of this is done with loving kindness for yourself. When you do begin to, give yourself kindness and compassion, that can only be shared with others. So just for a moment, thinking of that intention, that theme, acceptance of where you are in this present moment and also in your daily life. And believing in yourself and finding the courage and confidence to move forward in the direction of where you are heading and your own capabilities to get you there. Slowly take the hands away from the body, as almost as if you are still feeling that they are connected. You still feel the warmth of your hands on your body. You still feel the warmth of the body in your palms of your hands, just resting the hands down onto the knees. Again, this energy connection between the solar plexus and the heart. Nice and slowly bring movement back into the fingers, wiggling fingers, shaking out the hands and gently circling in through the wrists, noticing any clicks, crunches, any tightness in the wrist joints, and then gently circling through the shoulders. And as this is an upper body practice, we're going to go into the chest, the upper back, and the shoulders a bit today through our postures, circling the other way, bringing them forward. We don't often bring them forward because that's rounding. But the last one, I want you to round the spine and drop the chin towards the chest, sucking the belly back towards the spine. So drawing navel to lower back. Make sure the chin drops down to the chest and becomes heavy. Feel the stretch through the back of the neck and maybe into the upper back. Make sure the shoulders are drawing away from the ears, creating space. And then roll the shoulders forward, and that brings you upright. And then you open the chest. So the fingertips may come to the lower back, they might come behind you. And just open up your gaze to the sky. So again, we feel this length all the way from the navel, right up to the heart, right up to the forehead. Then bring yourself back into center. Take the hands to the knees, lift the knees together, and just give yourself a big hug. So again, this feeling of love, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself, It's not egotistical. It's not narcissistic. If you are in a place of love for yourself, you are in a far better place to give love to others and care for others. So hug yourself as if you mean it today. Feeling the belly and the chest, connecting down to the thighs, gently roll up. This is where we're going to need our blanket or our rolled up towel. So using that becomes a little bit of a pressure point underneath us when we're lying down on our belly. So we kind of want it across the abdomen, just across the navel. And we're coming into crocodile pose. Okay, so lying down in prone and making sure that sits just on the solar plexus. Okay. Then bring the hands underneath the forehead. Relax into the toes and the ankles. Toes might just turn inwards a little bit and the ankles just relax out to the side. Good. So really give in to the entire weight here of the body. And with that little bit of pressure of the towel or the blanket underneath you, you might start to feel a pulsing. And that's simply the body's energy. So breathe deeply into the dantian, the sea of chi, the sea of energy. The abdomen, the belly, the navel, the solar plexus. Notice here if you actually feel a pulsing underneath you. Focusing down on that chakra, the lower chakra of the solar plexus, relaxing into the heart space, melting the shoulders, melting the chest. Notice if you're clenching or gripping any of the muscles or joints in the body. Give in to softness. Give in to gravity. Relax and release. Nice and slowly coming out of the posture, you lift the head. Crown of the head reaches forward, a little bit of a back extension there as the hands come back underneath the shoulders. Gently press up and then pull yourself back through tabletop. Bring the knees underneath you. Pick up your blanket or your towel and then bring that underneath the belly into child's pose. So you can take the knees wide if you prefer, that's okay, or the knees come together. So again, just try to relax the belly over. The head can come down onto a block or to the hands. If it doesn't quite meet, you can do those potato fists. So you're giving the fist on fist a little bit of extra height because you've got the blanket there. Notice how this child's pose changes when you have a prop between the belly and the thighs. If it's not comfortable, move it forward just a little bit. If you've taken it too deep into the hip creases. Slow, steady inhales and exhales. Focusing on the areas of the body that we're working with today, the torso, front, back, and sides. Finding stillness, holding the posture, working towards your edge, the 3 principles of Yin Yoga. Slowly lift the head, crown of the head reaches forward as you lengthen the spine just a little bit, making sure shoulders are pulling back from the ears. Nice and slowly, the hands come out in front of you. And as you lift up into tabletop, let the blanket or the towel just drop down to the mat. And then find your tabletop position here. Freedom of movement. So moving left and right with the hips, circling through the hips, or finding a cat and cow are all within your own movement. Do what feels good after coming out of those two postures where we've used a prop for pressure. And then coming into our melting heart pose, or Anahata pose, Anahatasana. You can, of course, continue to use your blanket or your towel that can support your head. So the hips stay nice and high above the knees, and bringing the chest down. That's quite nice to have the blanket supporting the head. The hands might slide out in front, or they can be underneath the forehead just a little bit as well. So if you feel that you're gone too far and you're sliding forward, just make sure that you can stay in that posture for a number of minutes. Pressing into the tops of the feet, the ankles and the shins will help you ground. And almost feel and visualize here that you have weight, extra weight, just in between your shoulder blades. Taking a last few breaths in this posture. Exhale deeply, even more fully to let go. Raising the head, looking forward to the front of the mat, and simply sliding forward onto the forearms. So the hips stay lifted here, and you're pushing into this kneeling forearm plank. You're engaging a little bit into the abdominals, pressing away from the mat. And then gently lowering the hips and moving to one side to take away that blanket or towel, and coming all the way down into prone. Go to the left cheek and drop the hands by the hips so you can relax through the shoulders here. Taking a moment just to recover from Anahatasana or melting heart, puppy pose. It's got so many different names, it really does. And we're going to come into Sphinx for a 3-minute hold, bringing the forearms forward, fingertips are spread and reaching towards the front of the mat. Engaging through the tops of the feet and the toes, you're gently pressing into the tops of the feet and the ankles, keeping the chest nice and lifted, ears away from shoulders, closing the eyes, relaxing facial expression. Now feel a stretch through the front gate of the body, the front gate being all the way from the pubic bone right up to the throat. And now being aware and observing the back gate of the body all the way from the tailbone right up to the base of the skull. We're in a back extension, so dropping pubic bone and pelvis into the mat. Just a few more breaths in the Sphinx. Trying to relax all of the muscles of the body in the lower legs and the buttocks. And nice and slowly lifting the elbows to spread them wide as you slowly roll down. Bring the hands underneath the head, bring the big toes to touch, heels fall out, sway left and right to recover. It's just a rebound posture in prone or crocodile as it's known. Coming into our, what some people call broken wing. Right arm goes out to the side of you, either at a 45-degree angle, bend at the elbow, or straight in line with the shoulder. We're going to use the left hand to roll ourselves over onto our right hip. And you can keep the knees bent here if you like and together, or depending on whether or not you want to open up that left hip and bring the foot back behind you. So your choice here is with the half cactus arm, which is a little deeper. It's a deeper feeling when you've got the bent elbow. So find what works for you, where you can hold. We're holding for 3 minutes in this broken wing. You can see where the name comes from. Allow your exhale to take away any tightness or tension you may be feeling in the posture, and notice where that target area comes for you. It might just come into the shoulder girdle or the chest. Might be in the twist of the torso if you've chosen to take the leg back. We're here for just a few more breaths. Take a deep breath in, and on your deep breath out, just roll back. Bring the right arm by the hip, turning the palm up so that you can soften into that right shoulder. Always allowing these moments to rebound out of a posture where you've held it for a number of minutes. And changing sides. Left arm stays out where it is, and the right hand comes by the face as you turn onto the left ear, left cheek. And again, choosing the option of the 45-degree bend at the elbow, or straightening that arm in line with the shoulder, and either keeping the knees bent, one on top of each other, or opening that right hip out and tucking that toe just back behind you. And as you switch to the other side, just notice again if you feel any differences, any imbalances from right to left. Taking your last few breaths in this broken wing on the left side. Bringing the leg back if you chose that option, and just gently rolling back into prone. And this time your left arm comes down by the side of your hip, relaxing into that left shoulder. So just a little bit of a release into the shoulders now. Bring the head forward and take both hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers and then push back through the knuckles towards the heels. And you just gently lift the body. Only a few inches away from the mat. We don't have to come too high. Just make sure the shoulders are rolling away from the ears here and you're pressing the knuckles back towards the heels, lifting up the upper body. And that's starting to engage into the abdominals, the core, the lower back. And release, sway the hips out from side to side and gently press yourself back through tabletop. And just in tabletop again, find that cat and cow. And I'm hoping that the spine may have got a little bit further in mobility after we did the heart pose and your Sphinx. Mine certainly moves a little bit better after a few back extensions. Good. So releasing back towards the heels, just come into a kneeling posture at the back of your mat. Just resting the buttocks onto the heels. Sit nice and tall and just feel the front and the back of the body here. I've only just really tapped into the start of the practice. So again, being aware of these two energetic centers, the solar plexus just above the navel and the heart space. Remember the theme and the intention of accepting where you are. And that's really about acceptance of where you are each and every time you come to the mat as well. No expectations. Swinging the legs around in front of you. Again, you can use your blanket, which is quite nice. I'm going to go and grab that and sit on your blanket. So that actually lifts up the hips just a little bit. It gives you just a couple of centimeters of lift, and depends how thickly you have rolled your blanket. Now here we're coming into a seated forward fold. So you can, of course, bend the knees, letting the chest rest down over the thighs. I'm going to take this option. You can use the bolster underneath you. You can rest the head on blocks or bolsters. Again, using props that you have wherever you need them. That's it. Exactly. So we just allow ourselves to fold over. We don't have to pull ourselves towards our legs. We allow our body's gravity to take us deeper. Yes, exactly. Good. So relaxing the head down towards the knees and just gently being aware of the navel pulling back towards the spine. Notice what happens if you let go of that navel and just allow the belly, complete freedom. So a gentle activation of the abdominal muscles. Now being aware of the back part of the body in this forward fold, which is a flexion, rounding through the spine. And feel the energy of the heart space. radiating from the center of your back. Using the exhale, breathing, letting go even deeper. Remember where your edge lies for yourself. Again, it's kindness and compassion to the body. Never putting yourself into a place of pain or risk of injury. Never overdoing it, overstretching or forcing. Just a few more breaths here in this forward fold of caterpillar. Taking time to roll up through the spine. Think of each and every vertebra moving one after the other. Chin stays in towards the chest until the shoulders come back up in line with the hips, sitting tall, and then bringing the head up and the gaze forward. Sitting nice and tall, relax the shoulders, stacking shoulders over hips, gently pulling abdominals back. Nice. And then nice and slowly just lift the knees and windscreen wiper out right and left. Good. So we're going to come into half saddle, which is one that we worked on last week in our other practices. So again, this is using bolsters or blankets as you need. So half saddle is basically a half hero. So the right knee is bent. Now, this is a reclined posture, so you can use the bolster or the cushions behind you. And then start to come back onto the bolster. Now, if you need a block or, again, using that blanket can be support for the head. So make sure the calf of that right leg is not trapped by the thigh. That's okay. Good, 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 good. Yeah. And maybe after a couple of minutes of being in the posture, you feel that, oh, well, I might be able to get my back down onto the mat and you might be able to move the bolster away, but make sure that you're not taking yourself into the posture too deep, too soon. So this targets both the Manipura and the heart chakra here by stretching the front gate of the body, stretching the abdominals, the psoas, the intercostals, and the rib cage. Opening up the heart space, opening up the chest. So it's a very open and balancing for both of those energy centers. Physically, we're targeting into that right thigh, right hip flexor, and also a very passive back extension. Just a few more breaths here. Allowing your exhale breath to let you sink deeper into the posture, relieving any tightness or tension. Flipping the palms, bringing the elbows back by the sides of the body, pushing into the elbows, lifting the head, looking along the body. And then take your time to bring yourself back up into seated. Let's stay seated for a moment, just dropping into both sit bones, sitting nice and tall. Good. And slowly rolling over onto your left hip so that you can free that right leg. Good. So bringing left leg back behind you, again, making sure that that calf is not compressed by the thigh. Good. Sitting on both sit bones and slowly coming back. If you can't get the knee down, then stay upright. So you can always stay seated. Or you come back down onto the mat or onto cushions or bolsters. Yeah. Noticing how it feels on the other side. Now, you might find one side is a little easier or more challenging than the other. Arms are out to the side of you, opening up through the chest and the shoulders, palms are face up. Find the stillness once more. Noticing the target areas of the left thigh, left hip flexors. And stretching open in a passive back bend, the front gate of the body. Okay, we're here for just a few more breaths. Well done. Sink into this one. It's a bit of a crossover pose with a supported fish if you're using that bolster. And quite nice being a half hero or half saddle, not a full saddle. Good. Bringing the hands back by the side of the body, flipping the palms, pressing into the elbows, looking along the body. And then press yourself up to seated. And then find that seated upright position in your half saddle, making sure that that left knee is going directly forward to the front of the mat. Nice. Dropping into the left buttock as much as you can, as much as the right. Nice. Rolling onto the right buttock and releasing the leg. Whoa. If you need to, just give those knees a little massage underneath if they feel a little tight there. We're going to come down onto our backs. So having a bolster, or again using the blanket, so you can use the blanket or a block. I might actually go with a block, but you can go nice and low with a blanket or high with your bolster. Give you all of the options. So we are coming down onto our back to draw our knees in towards our chest first of all. So pull the knees in and roll and massage out through the spine. So pull the thighs in close to the belly, lengthening tailbone all the way down to the end of the mat. And then just gently circle the knees around one way and the other. Notice here as you gently circle that the abdominals have to engage. The multifidus muscles, the transverse abdominals have to engage to create those circles. And firing up the core in a very subtle and gentle way. So now placing the soles of the feet down, taking your block, blanket, or bolster. It goes underneath your sacrum. Now, any level. I'm probably going to go lowest level of the block. Okay, make sure that your sacrum is nice and flat and comfortable. We're going to go into half cradle, which is half knee to chest. So bringing in right knee in towards the chest. Your left leg can stay bent, or again, intensifying the challenge, extending that leg along the mat. Good. So imagine and visualize that knee coming all the way up towards the shoulder or the chin. Dropping into the hips, dropping into the pelvis. Nice. And if the block or whatever you've chosen is uncomfortable, and digging in, just move it around to a comfortable place. Making sure that the back of the head is firmly planted, the neck is long, you're not tilting or dipping the chin, and the shoulder blades are spread out on both sides, left and right. Let's take this into a half happy baby. So we're opening up the knee and then taking hold of the foot. And this, we're not staying here for long, but again, you can keep that leg straight. That's a deeper, intense posture, or bending up that left knee. So drawing thigh down to the mat. The reason why I've put the block and the bolster there is just to lift the hips up, a bit more challenge into the half happy baby, I feel. And it's accepting where you are today and knowing what's within your capabilities. Nice and slowly release the heel, slide that right leg all the way along the mat and just drop into a pontoon. So open the arms out to the side. Relax through quads, hips, hip flexors there. Nice. Give all of the weight into the block or the bolster. And bending the knees, placing the soles of the feet back on the mat. Keep the right leg bent for a moment. Draw the left knee in towards the chest. So half cradle. If you like, you can extend the right leg. Pulling knee towards the shoulder. Dropping across the pelvis as much as you can. Spreading the weight there underneath you. And preparing to open up the hip, dropping the thigh down to the left, and maybe taking hold of the outer edge of the foot. A little bit more challenge when you've got that block or bolster underneath there. And you can bend up the right knee. Make sure you're still balancing on that prop underneath you. Yeah. We're only here for a couple of breaths. It's not the full 3 minutes. Good. So it's a little bit of a challenge, and just release the heel, extend the leg all the way down to meet the right into pontoon. And then here, just lift the arms up above the head into full pontoon posture. So arms are above the head, palms face up, softening into that sacral area. Heart, solar plexus, radiating up to the sky. And then bring the arms back, bring the feet back, lift the hips, take the prop away. Roll down through the spine and just lie in recovery pose of Shavasana. No props, no posture. Give in everything to the earth. And our last little bit of work is bringing those knees up towards the chest, but not holding onto them. Taking the arms either in cactus, so bend at the elbow, or out to the side of you in line with the shoulders. And we're going to roll the knees to the right, Maybe the feet come down. And bring in to center. Roll the knees over to the left. Maybe the feet touch, maybe they don't, or you just hold and hover. A little twist through the spine, bring it back into center. This time you can repeat that same movement, or you might like to use the head and neck as well. So lifting the head, turning to look towards the left hand. Knees go right. Trying to keep that left shoulder blade anchored. Hovering the knees. Maybe the feet come down. It's okay if they do. And breathe in. Head and knees come back into center. Knees go left. Head turns right. Keep the right shoulder blade anchored. That's the test. Maybe the knees hover. Maybe the feet just touch. Notice what target areas and the abdominals you're using. And bring it back into center. And last time, let's do it once more, but this time let the feet relax down. And then use your right arm to just gently add a little bit of extra weight into the top thigh, opening up into that nice reclined twist. Head can stay center or look towards the left hand. Try and relax through the left glute, left outer hip, left waist, left side of the spine. Feel the twisting of all of the abdominals, stomach, intestines, organs. Breathe in, bring it back into center. Let the knees drop over and meet the floor. Take the left hand to the thigh. Gaze might go to the right hand. So knees are left, head to the right. Again, just noticing any differences from right to left. Try and relax the right outer hip, right glutes, right waist, right side of the body. Breathe in, head comes back, knees come back, and just circle out. Do what you like here. Find some freedom through the legs, the knees, the hips, and the spine. Prepare for your final relaxation in Shavasana. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable. You can use the blanket to cover yourself if you need extra warmth. Try not to get cold. Or you might like to have that underneath the head. That's always a nice one. And bolsters underneath the knees are all good as well. So coming onto your back into Shavasana for final relaxation. Taking time to get there, making sure that you're going to be comfortable for the next 5 or 6 minutes. And through our practice today, we bridged the gap between our inner and outer worlds. From the fiery Manipura, we slipped into the lighter, more loving Anahata energy of compassion and joy and forgiveness, which are just some of the qualities of balancing our fourth chakra, where the physical meets the subtle. And deep within this spinning powerhouse of energy, right in the center of our chest, we learn to love and accept ourselves. Acceptance of where we are at the moment. And through our arms and our hands, we can give and receive love and serve without expectation. So allowing your focus now, resting the awareness into your heart space, the energy connection of the solar plexus just above the navel and the heart at the center of the chest. Breathing into these areas, feeling that you have unblocked, opened, and balanced both chakras, as well as working through the physical body, through the postural asana in our yin practice today. I'll leave you for moments of silence and let you know when it's time to come back around. Begin to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings, back onto the mat, and into the body by bringing movement to the hands and feet. Taking your time to awaken your mind and body back from your relaxation in Shavasana and the end of the practice. And then taking time, if you need to stretch or draw the knees in, rolling out through the spine and just rolling over to one side and returning up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, the thumbs just resting at the sternum, just in the center of your heart space. And just taking the gaze down just a little bit. So you get this connection from the forehead down to these two energy centers that we have worked with today, the Manipura and the Anahata. And just reminding ourselves of our theme today to find acceptance wherever we are at the moment, where we are in our lives, and where we are heading. And finding the confidence and courage to believe in ourselves. Never doubting our own capabilities. Always thanking yourself, your mind, your body, your energy, and I thank you all. Namaste.